you talk about Saturday and that overtime goal and really what led to it after BG tying the game up so late and then giving up that goal 20 or so seconds in?
What led to it was just poor plays with the puck. When you think about, they had a great chance to score within the first 10 seconds of overtime. We win the draw clean. It's a neutral zone play that we face every day in practice almost, and instead of taking what's there, we want to force the issue, and it turns into a situation where Andrew has to make a big time save. The net gets knocked off, so we can't change, which we wanted to. Can't change, win the next face-off clean, and have the puck totally in our control. And what, if you see it on tape, looks like it could have evolved into an offensive chance for us, which doesn't happen much off of a defensive zone face-off. It turns up, it goes into our net. So pretty disappointing. You know, I thought it was a game where we played a pretty solid road game. It was a pretty quiet game all in all. There wasn't a lot going on. I would have liked to have seen us generate a little more offense, but it didn't happen. Ultimately, though, when you have the puck on your stick and it ends up in your net 3 or 4 or 5 seconds later, that's pretty disappointing.
Coach, overall, how happy are you with the progress the team made from the Saturday night effort against Miami into the tournament last weekend?
Happy? I'm not sure if happy describes it. I think we are making progress. I do think that the feeling in our locker room after the game Saturday was that we left something on the table. That's what I want them to feel. I don't want them. I'm not talking about jumping off bridges here. I'm talking about realizing that we are a team that should be competing at a high level every single night. The progress from last Saturday night against I don't think we played Miami this past weekend. The more times than not, that's going to be the competition is what we played this past weekend. I think the Miamis are on a different level. Michigan, maybe Notre Dame, whatever. But I do feel like we went in there with a purpose. I thought we had a good game Friday. I thought our game was okay Saturday. And it wasn't about effort necessarily. It was about now executing. So now we're back to that. So we are still searching for that effort at a high level, executing while you're giving that effort and competing. And that's where we are. Today in practice we had situations where every single play counts, and we're trying to make them understand that doesn't just mean with the puck. That could be without the puck, could be stick position, could be body position, could be hitting the net, could be a good dump, whatever it may be. Every play is crucial. And unfortunately, Saturday it cost us. So, did we make improvement from last Saturday to this Saturday? Probably. But still a situation where we don't want to be leaving games, or leaving points, so to speak, on the table by not executing and taking care of the puck, all the things we want to be good at. So it was progress, but we still want more.
I know you've been asked this before, Coach, but would you talk a little bit about that 800th victory in program history?
Well, it's hard for me to talk a lot about it because I've had so little to do with it. And really, it's really not my place to talk about it because, these guys, from Coach Vivian to Dennis last year, they've all had more to do with it than me, whether that was playing or coaching. Was I humbled to be part of the 800th win? Absolutely. I'm looking forward to be part of 900 and 1,000 and so on. It does talk about the depth of this program. There aren't many programs like Bowling Green that have 800 wins in their history, that have an NHL wall like we have. And that is all what makes this so exciting for me. We want to recruit kids that want to be part of the 900th win and part of the thousands. The 1,000th win, and it's just we're happy with what we are in the past, and we want guys to start to make their mark in the present and then future. So it's hard for me to comment too much on it because we weren't a part of it very much, and we do feel responsible to continue that on what the precedent's already been set for us.
With the it was 3 power play goals on the weekend, are you making progress?
I think so. I think so. I think they're understanding that the competition and the intensity and the executing while being that intense, that doesn't exclude the power play. I think when we've struggled on the power play, it's been a lack of intensity and a lack of competition level for loose pucks or what have you. And then the other piece, which you're probably always going to get on the power play, I think we want to recreate, invent something that's not there versus just take what is there. I thought this weekend we did a pretty good job. I think it was 2 Friday, 1 Saturday. It was a big one on Saturday too, at 2-0. We needed some kind of momentum, something to spark us. So I see progress. Still want it to be better. There's still opportunities out there for us to do better on the power play. We're just going to continue to focus on making sure your mindset is right when you go out there for every situation, no matter what it is.
Talked a lot about leadership and leadership in the locker room and on the ice. David Solway scoring late for you guys. Do you feel like there's a lot of progress being made there?
Unfortunately, I don't. I want to be honest with you about that. I think that's something that we need more. I still feel when things go sideways on the bench or on the ice or whatever, adversity, a goal against, what have you, guys are looking left and right versus what can I do? I don't think they're living, I can be a leader in my way. I don't think they're living that yet. And I do think they're looking at David to carry the load on that, and I don't. I don't look at one guy. We've got 27 players on that team. It's one guy's not going to lead us down a good path or bad path. That's not the way it should be. I won't allow it to be that way. We've got other guys that need to step up and start to realize that they can lead in their own way. And the progress hasn't been good enough in that. It just hasn't. I think some of that lack of leadership has resulted in our inconsistent play. I really do. Whether that's individually or collectively, I don't think there's enough guys taking a leadership approach. What can I do to make this better, to be part of the solution? I think they're looking and kind of feeding off momentum that we have collectively, but nothing individually, or not enough. I'm going to take them. I don't need to look at Solway, or I don't need to look at Eno or Hammond or Krylov. I'm going to do it myself. And then hopefully guys will follow me. And if we have 27 guys saying those things, we're going to be fine. We don't. We've got good boys, and I think we have good followers. Well, we don't have enough leaders right now, period.
I don't know if you necessarily want to name names, but are there people that you feel should be stepping up that aren't, or do you just think it should be all 27 guys?
All 27 guys. I don't have 2 or 3 names in mind when I'm saying that. I'm not trying to call somebody out at all. They all know that when we don't want people looking left and things aren't going well, so who's going to step up? I want people to start thinking, me. Why not me? Well, I'm only a freshman. That's garbage. That's not what this is about. This is about everybody understanding and buying into, I'm going to take ownership in this. This is my experience, and then I'm going to lead the way in my way. It may not be stand up and start cheering and rah-rah. Maybe it's a guy that goes out and leads by example. Maybe it's a guy that's a little bit of both. Whatever it may be. Everybody can lead in their own way. And we need more and more guys to start taking that role upon themselves versus, well, hopefully somebody else will do it.
Talk about Lake Superior.
Physical, they'll work extremely hard. I think they're underrated. I really do. I've talked to 2 teams in particular that have played them this first half and think they're very good, especially at home. They've got what I've heard and what I've seen before. Rick Schofield, maybe one of the more underrated players in our league. He's a big power forward that can run you over or beat you one-on-one, whatever you want. They're a team that we better be ready to compete. There's no doubt about that. They may not have the flash of a Michigan, but they're a team that will go nose to nose with anybody physically and competition-wise. Last weekend it didn't go well, so I'm expecting to be a little angry about that. Go all the way to Denver to lose a couple of games, and so we're expecting an extremely difficult weekend. But we're also looking at a weekend where this is a business trip. We're getting on the bus on Thursday morning to go up there to win 2 hockey games. So it's just a mental approach, and it's a focus on being ready to compete because these guys are going to be ready to compete.
You've done a lot of traveling early, or what seems to be a lot of traveling. Do you feel that your boys are getting better at that or learning what needs to be done?
I think we're learning. I think we're learning. I have to kind of pull myself back at times and realize that, hey, this has been difficult on these guys. And some nights we've had 9 freshmen in the lineup. And when you talk about a transition from whatever level to this level, and to go with that, a trip to Alaska, a trip to Northern, 2 trips to upstate New York, and now a trip again back to Northern Michigan, or, you know, with Sault Ste. Marie, it hasn't been easy. That's not an excuse. We'll never use that as an excuse. We never talk about it as an excuse. We've tried to pull the reins back a little bit, especially on Mondays, the last few weeks, and let them have a little bit of fun. Don't have to listen to me all the time. And today we got back to work, but you know, I think now these are the, you know, I've called the last couple of days the dog days of this first half. It's been a long first half, both, you know, on the ice, off the ice, whatever, and we've had some adversity. So not only do I want them to focus on the ice and get through this first half here, but we want to not just get through it, but flourish and take these next 4 league games and do something with them. And hopefully we can do that. That's something that, that's what I expect. And hopefully they're expecting the same thing.